This drama for the New South Wales Premier. He's been overseas, but he's really been dogged by developments around John Barilaro.
And it's been a 10-day trade mission. Such trips are usually 6 or 7 days for premiers or prime ministers, Kieran. The New South Wales Premier Dominic Perrottet been on this trade mission overseas, and it's been hijacked by him having to defend the controversial decision by his government to give a cushy New York Trade Commissioner role to his mate and former Deputy Premier John Barilaro. Barilaro, of course, resigned from the job he had been given last month to attempt to take the heat out of the scandal, but the affair has continued to stumble along, with the former Deputy Premier due before a parliamentary inquiry next Monday. It's my understanding that issues that could come up in that Barilaro testimony include that he was not the only ex-politician considered by the government for the Trade Commissioner roles, with former New South Wales Liberal Premier Kerry Chikarovski mentioned in the context of New York, and former State Liberal Director Remo Nogarotto mentioned for London. And that many of these discussions, including the discussion that former successful candidate Jenny West was not good enough for the job, were taken with Dominic Perrottet in the room, as well as Stuart Ayres and former Premier Gladys Berejiklian. I revealed last year that former Labor leader Jodi McKay was being lined up for a possible position in India. This could have given the government political cover to appoint some former Liberals and could have opened up the seat of Strathfield to a possible Gladys Berejiklian electoral win. Our reporter Danica DiGiorgio asked Gladys Berejiklian about this possible McKay appointment at a press conference last year.
Have you had a discussion with Jodi McKay about her becoming the New South Wales government's trade envoy to India?
As the Trade Minister in New South Wales, I can say that we're always looking for candidates. We're going through a process at the moment. Those candidates could be anyone and everyone, and they're a mixed bag of candidates right across the board, and we'll have more to say about that. But they're confidential in those conversations. They're confidential in the nature of those conversations, and we'll have more to say.
I guess the point out of this is that while Trade Minister Stuart Ayres is the focus of most of the heat at the moment, the calling of Barilaro as a witness next Monday could spread the scandal very much to the Premier and former Treasurer Dominic Perrottet in terms of what he knew when about what was happening with the Trade Commissioner roles.